I'm trying to explain to them what's going on. They're stealing their businesses. They're taking everything. And I said, listen, very important. We're not going to let this happen. And I let everybody know at this forum, and actually a little before the forum, that I was going to impose a 100% tax on any cars that are coming in from Mexico made in this plant that was only built to rip off Michigan and rip off Detroit. This plant was bigger than practically all of their plants put together. It would have devastated them. And I made the statement very strongly, and that was about it. Sort of forgot about it. And I saw him like a couple of weeks ago in the audience, and I said, would you do me a favor, tell that gentleman, his name is John, I want to see him. He builds auto plants, the biggest, I think he's the biggest guy, biggest in the world. He's very good at it. And he said, comes backstage, I said, hey John, how's that big plant that you're building or getting ready to build in Mexico, owned by China, how is it? Oh sir, that's been dropped. I said, what? He said, they dropped it quietly last week. They're not going to build the plant because they think you're going to become president and you're going to put tariffs on the cars that come across. And they've decided that they'd lose a fortune, and they've dropped the project. How about that? Does the press write that? I don't think so, but that's okay. You know who knows it? The people of Michigan, because we're up in Michigan too. And we're going to win Michigan, and not necessarily because of that, but we're going to win Michigan. But isn't that beautiful? And I did that without even being president. It's pretty good. So we're going to protect you, and we're going to protect them, and we're going to protect everybody. We're going to protect. And by the way, if they want to build the plant anywhere in the country, here, or I don't care where. I'd love to have a couple of them built right in the middle of Detroit, to be honest with you. Wouldn't that be nice? You know, they've suffered badly. No, they've been ripped, but they're going to build it. I said, if you want to build the plant, and I told him to tell the people, big, massive company, tell the people I would be honored if they want to build our big, beautiful plant here, hire our workers, we're fine with that, and we're not going to charge them any tariffs, you see. I say the way you get rid of the tariffs is to build your plants in the United States of America. That's what we want. And they're going to be coming in here by the hundreds and by the thousands, that we're going to have them come right here. So it will be really, in the truest sense of the word, it's going to be America first. It's all about America first. As we rescue our economy, I will also restore our borders. And over the past 4 years, Kamala has orchestrated the most egregious betrayal that any leader in American history has ever inflicted on our people. What she has done to our country, and him too, but he put her in charge. She never made one call. Border Patrol endorsed me 2 weeks ago, you know that? They said, he's the greatest president in history. I said, does that include Abraham Lincoln and George Washington? They actually said, yes, it does. But they also said, one other guy, he's sort of a young guy, like 38, he said, Border Patrol, he said, he's the greatest president in my lifetime. I wasn't impressed with that statement. So I liked the other one better, the captain. I liked him much better. He said, big difference between in history or in my lifetime if you're 38 years old. I think he was young. I think he was like 30. He's the best president in my lifetime. I mean, you know, give me a break. They're great guys, though. These are great guys. And they gave me the strongest endorsement. They said that, the best president, and the best president by far we've ever had on the border. We had okay, put that sign up, my favorite sign. Put that sign. This is my favorite graph. Oh, I sleep with that. I wrap it around, I kiss it at night. Because without that graph, I'm not here. I hate to tell you. I'm not here without that. But importantly, look at the big red arrow at the bottom. That was the lowest point of illegal immigration ever that we had known in recorded history of our country. And look what happened. That was when I left. That was my last day. It was the lowest point, and that included human trafficking, and mostly in women. I hate to tell you that. Do you know that they're missing 325,000 children, and the press doesn't talk about that? Think of what that means. You know, people say, oh, 325, you know, 325. Do you know what that means? 325,000 children are missing or dead. They came in through the border. Many of them probably are slaves. They say sex slaves, actually, but many of them are slaves. And they came in through 325,000. Their parents will probably, for the most part, never see them again. What a place we're living in. What a place we're living. But that graph illustrates how good. And then take a look to the right. That's when these lunatics took over. Kamala. That's when she took over. Our great borders are. Those numbers are unprecedented anywhere in the world. There's never been a third world country that allowed. Millions and millions of people came in. Look at that. It's like an Elon Musk rocket ship. Look at it. Now look at those numbers. So it's a very sad thing. She has violated her oath, eradicated our sovereign border, and unleashed an army of gangs and criminal migrants from prisons and jails, insane asylums and mental institutions from all around the world. They come from Venezuela. They come from the Congo in Africa. A lot of people coming from the Congo. And where in the Congo? From their jails. They're emptying their jails into the United States of America, stealing countless American lives. People are being killed on a daily basis. Today, I want you to hear directly from a mother whose world has been shattered because of the open borders, stupidity of Kamala. Please.
Sunday night, I asked her to not stay up super late because of her coming to work with me in the morning to do her summer school. She said, okay. I told her good night, and I love you. I went to bed, not realizing that was going to be the last time I saw her. We're best friends. Yes.
We're going to shake it again.
I woke up to notice she wasn't in her bed. I'm in my heart trying not to lose my mind because I don't know where she is. I finally remembered her phone had a location on, and her phone was pinging just 2 minutes down the road, right behind the skate park. I start driving to the direction the phone was being pinged at, and I see a couple cop cars with lights on. I see yellow tape. And immediately my heart drops and sinks to the bottom of my stomach. My daughter's hands and ankles were both bound. She was strangled to death, left with no pants. And I know in my heart, she fought incredibly hard. She was not going down without a fight.
We begin with two men we're learning are charged with capital murder tonight, accused of killing a 12-year-old girl.
Police say these men strangled her before dumping her into that creek. Both men were in the country illegally.
Apprehended, then released by Border Patrol less than 3 weeks before Jocelyn's death. The men accused of killing Jocelyn Nungare are affiliated with the gang known for brutal violence.
Kamala Harris was in charge of immigration in our borders. If we had better border policies and not open borders and not these catch and release policies, I truly believe this all could have been prevented. Under her being vice president of this country, my daughter's life was ripped away from her. She had her entire life ahead of her.
Happy birthday, dear Jocelyn.
My daughter is 6 feet in the ground based off of policies that she allowed to keep. Kamala Harris did have one job, and she not only failed, not me, she failed my daughter, she failed Jocelyn. You know, she was only 12. President Trump reached out, gave me his sincerest condolences as not a former president, but just as a father, someone who cares. I believe Donald Trump needs to be back in office. I can at least know that my next child will be safe in this country.
Thank you. That's taking place in different forms, different ages, but it's taking place in our country now by the thousands. These are some of the worst criminals in the world that are coming in. These are criminals the likes of which we've never even seen. They make our criminals look like nice people. These are tough people. MS-13, they don't like using guns because they're not painful. They use knives and they chop people up, Long Island. And if we didn't have the great patriots of ICE, who are tough people, but they love our country, and Border Patrol, they're great. They want to do their job. They're not letting them do the job. But if we didn't have those people, it would be unbelievable. We moved thousands of MS-13 gang members out of our country. And that's why Border Patrol says there's never been anybody like Trump. Tom Homan said it. He said he's the best we'll ever have. You'll never get better. We had a perfect thing. When this guy used to go to the beach all the time, all he had to do was leave it the way we had it. And it was just getting better from years of abuse. But we had it down to a science, and we'll do it again. The difference is it's much worse now than it was in 2016. You know, in 2016, I got elected, I think, mostly because of the border. But that border was nothing compared to what you have right now. We put up all that wall. We got Mexico to give us thousands of soldiers free of charge. I said to them, look, if you don't give them, I'm going to put tariffs on your cars coming over. But other than, and they said, first they said, we are not going to do that. After I said the tariffs, they said, sir, it would be our honor to give you as many soldiers as you'd like. And we had a very safe border, and we did a good job. And most of these things that you'd watch now or that you read about, I think all of them, they would have never happened. The day I take the oath of office, the migrant invasion ends and the restoration of our country begins. And when you vote on Tuesday, vote in honor of Jocelyn and Laken Riley of Georgia and Rachel Morin and every American who has been stolen from us by Kamala's border betrayal. It's a total betrayal. Remember, not once in 4 years did she call anybody in Border Patrol. How are we doing? I called them all the time. I drove them crazy. How are we doing? How's it going? Never once did she call. Never once did she visit. She visited one time in an area that had nothing to do. You know, she liked it. But essentially, never once did she visit. If she wins, you will live the rest of your life as second-class citizens in your own country. That's what's happening. I used to say, not so long ago, Venezuela went bad. You know, Venezuela 18 years ago was a thriving country. They had elections, they had everything, and then one day it went bad. And the same thing happened there as happened here. Same kind of scum that we have to deal with all the time. Guys like Adam Shifty Schiff, can you believe it? Fake investigations all the time. The use of the FBI and the DOJ to go after their political opponent who's kicking their ass. Isn't that great? But our nation will be, look, we're going to be dominated by this migrant invasion soon. And if she ever won, she would open the border immediately. The first day, Steve would agree with this, they'll open the border. They want open borders. I don't know why. Nobody knows why. Either they hate our country, or they maybe want to put them on the voting rolls. That's probably the reason. Or they're stupid, but they're not stupid, because you can't be so stupid when you do what they do in elections, right? If I win, the American people will be the rulers of this country again. The United States is now an occupied country. Can you imagine I say that and nobody disputes it? If you take a look at what's happening in Colorado and Aurora, take a look where they're taking over complexes of apartments and big swaths of area. But all over the country it's happening. A lot of towns don't like to say it because they think it's bad publicity and people won't move into that town or that little city. But it's the big cities too. It's New York and Chicago and Los Angeles. But it will soon be an occupied country no longer. It's not going to take long. You know, these guys come in, they're vicious, violent, and like military age. but they have military quality equipment, military quality guns, rifles, equipment. November 5th, 2024 will be Liberation Day in America. It's going to be Liberation Day. On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program in American history. I will rescue every city and town that has been invaded and conquered. These towns, think of those words. These towns are being invaded and conquered. What the hell? And nobody disputes me on that. And we will put the vicious and bloodthirsty criminals in jail or kick them the hell out of our country as fast as we can. And to expedite removals of Tren de Aragua, that's the big gang, the vicious gang from Venezuela, and MS-13 and other gangs. They're savages, savage gangs, savage people. They're savage people, actually. I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. See how far back we have to go? Because they didn't play games back then. They weren't politically correct. They wanted to run a country, and sometimes you have to be strong. 1798 to target and dismantle every migrant criminal network operating on American soil. We'll get it done fast. And if they come back into our country, it's an automatic 10 years in jail with no possibility of parole. And I am hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer. And I will immediately ban all sanctuary cities in the United States of America. They're sanctuaries for criminals. Everything Kamala says is a lie. She has no vision, no ideas. She has no solutions for anything. In fact, all she can talk about, this was the other night, they'd ask her a question, say, Donald Trump did this, Donald Trump did that. All she can say is, Donald Trump.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight I will speak about Donald Trump. Donald Trump, 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 Trump.
What the hell did I have to do with it? That's all she talks. What are you going to do for the economy? Donald Trump? Man, is she bad? How about 60 Minutes? You see that? Where 60 Minutes defrauded the American public. You saw that? She gave an answer that was so bad, it was grossly incompetent. It was like taking 1,000 words and throwing them on a wall. And so they did something that I never thought, that I never even heard of. They took her entire answer out, every word, Steve. Every word taken out, and they inserted a new answer, and they got caught. So watch what happens. We actually, on your behalf, if you don't mind, we sued CBS in 60 Minutes, okay? Because you know what that is? That's election interference fraud. So their news organization, 60 Minutes is their star. CBS's news organization in the middle of an election, think of that, changed the answer to a question in its entirety, right? I mean, I don't know how they respond to it, but they'll figure a way, I guess. But we did. We brought a suit on Friday against them for a lot of money. That's so terrible. No, I've never heard of a thing like that. I think it's the worst, most egregious broadcast fraud I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of bad things happen with these people, but that's about the worst I've seen. Kamala's campaign is running on nothing but hate and demonization, calling half of America now garbage. You know, Joe got up and he said, they're garbage, you're garbage, I'm garbage. Meanwhile, Kamala says she would not do anything different. I won't do one thing different. What would you do differently? Remember the 325,000 children. Wouldn't that be nice if they handle it differently? Remember all of these things that we talk about tonight? She said, I wouldn't do anything different. Take a look.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden? during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
I stood there on the tarmac watching you check your watch.
The chaotic and deadly U.S. evacuation from Afghanistan stunned Americans and the world and cost the lives of 13 U.S. soldiers.
Would you have done something differently?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
More than 13,000 illegal immigrants convicted of murder have been caught at the border and then released into the United States.
An Afghan national is in custody today after being accused of plotting an election day terrorist attack. The suspect entered the U.S. on a special immigrant visa.
Gut-wrenching new details in the murder of Georgia nursing student Laken Riley. The illegal immigrant suspect, who cops say committed the heinous murder, is a Venezuelan national who crossed the unsecured southern border back in 2022.
2 men investigators say are in the country illegally from Venezuela are charged with capital murder in the death of Jocelyn Nungaray.
A fifth illegal immigrant accused of attacking 2 New York City police officers over the weekend showed no remorse or regret.
Would you have done something differently?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Only 18% say the economy is in excellent or good condition.
US inflation has hit a new 40-year high, increasing by 9.1% over the financial year.
Authorities saying Train de Aragua, which has been linked with more than 100 criminal investigations here in the U.S., has now been found operating its criminal enterprise in apartment complexes.
Were you the last person in the room? Yes.
Can you believe it? So if you want to end this disaster, you must get out and vote. We have to stop what's going on in our country. We're not going to have a country anymore. This will be Venezuela on steroids. We're pleased to be joined by House Majority Leader, a great person. He's been through hell, and he was shot, violently and viciously shot. And I told him before, you're better looking now than you were years ago prior to that. But I tell you, you are something. This man was, I went to visit him in the hospital, and one thing I found out, his wife loves him. She was so devastated. I've been to areas where the wives didn't care that much. This wife, he's got a great wife, and she loves him. She was so devastated she couldn't even think. Steve Scully, stand up, Steve. Look great. Amazing. He got hit hard, Mike, right? He got hit hard. He's a great guy. Thank you, Steve, very much. Say hello to your wife and family. Members of Congress, Greg Murphy and Dan Bishop. Thank you, fellas. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Real champions. Candidate for Congress, and this is a fantastic woman. She has my complete and total endorsement. Lori Buckout. Lori Buckout. Great. Oh. She's something, I'll tell you. I hear you're doing very well. I looked at some good poll numbers. You're doing very well. Close it out. Get out, vote for her. Lori's great. And North Carolina GOP Chairman Jason Simmons. Jason, what a job. Great. We're doing good, right? Yeah, we're doing good. Looks like good. Looks like real good. Somebody told me they pulled out. You know what pulling out means? That means they pulled out. They took their money and they ran because they weren't seeing good. I shouldn't tell them that, but, you know, I guess people will figure it out. It might as well be the one. Yeah, they pulled out. I also want to send our prayers to everyone here in North Carolina who's still recovering from this unbelievable hurricane, the size of it, Hurricane Helene. Kamala's hurricane response was a disgrace and it was a betrayal. It was just reported that almost 50% of phone calls sent to FEMA were unanswered. They didn't answer. They don't have the money because they're bringing in all the criminal migrants. You cannot trust this person to be president of the United States. She destroyed San Francisco, and she will destroy our country. We're not going to let it happen. Here are the facts, just in closing. Kamala is a radical left Marxist, rated even worse than crazy Bernie Sanders or Pocahontas herself. She destroyed our economy. She was an original creator of defund the police movement, and anybody who wants to defund the police for even 1 week or 1 day is not worthy of being president of the United States to me. Kamala vowed to abolish ICE, and she pledged to confiscate your guns and endorsed a total ban on handgun ownership. She even called for free sex changes for illegal aliens in detention at taxpayer expense. And perhaps, worst of all, she never worked at McDonald's. No, it was a lie. It was a lie. She's a liar. With your vote on Tuesday, we are going to fire Kamala. We are going to save America. We will cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your prices, raise your wages, and bring thousands of factories back to America. And we're going to bring them back, a lot of them back to North Carolina. We love this place. It's always been so good, just so good. We will build American, we will buy American, and we will hire American. I will end the war in Ukraine. Would have never happened if I were president. I will stop the chaos in the Middle East, and I will prevent World War III, most importantly, from happening. I mean, we got people negotiating on our behalf. They don't have a clue. You'll end up in World War III. Yeah, it's true. We will crush violent crime and give our police the support, protection, resources, and respect that they so dearly deserve. We will strengthen and modernize our military. I rebuilt our entire military. We then gave a big chunk to Afghanistan. Wasn't that a lovely gift? And now every year they have a parade where they go down their main boulevard showing our beautiful equipment that we gave them so stupidly. We will build a missile defense shield, all made in the USA. Big one, big beauty. A lot of it's going to be made right here in North Carolina. We will rebuild our cities, including our capital in Washington, D.C. We will get all the graffiti off of those beautiful marble columns. And we'll make those cities safe, clean, and beautiful again. We will teach our children to love our country, to honor our history, and to always respect our great American flag. We will get critical race theory and transgender insanity the hell off our schools and out of our schools. I will defend religious liberty. I will restore free speech, and I will defend the right to keep and bear arms, Second Amendment, which is under siege. After years of building up foreign nations, defending foreign borders, and protecting foreign lands, we're finally going to build up our nation, defend our borders, and protect our citizens and our lands. We will stop illegal immigration once and for all. We will not be invaded. We will not be occupied. We will not be overrun. We will not be conquered. We will be a free and proud nation once again. Everyone will prosper, every family will thrive, and every day will be filled with opportunity and hope. And of course, it will be filled with the American dream once again. But for that to happen, we must defeat Kamala Harris and stop her left-wing, radical, crazy agenda of open borders and all other things. And we're going to have on Tuesday a landslide that's too big to rig. Too big to rig. Right, Mike? Right? So please get out and vote. Get your husband. I know he'd like to watch television that day. Say, Harry, get the hell out of this because you're going to vote for the president today, Harry. But darling, I'd like to watch a little more time. Get up, Harry. We know who the boss is, right? For the past 9 years, we have been fighting against the most sinister and corrupt forces on earth. With your vote in this election, most important election we've ever had, you can show them once and for all that this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. It's very simple. It was hard-working patriots like you who built this country. And 2 days from now, think of it, 2 days. Oh, it's so beautiful. 2 days from now, it is hard-working patriots like you who are going to save our country. After all we have been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. We'll get it turned fast. With your help, from now until Election Day, 2 days. We will restore America's promise, and we will take back the nation that we love so much. We love our nation. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down, and we will never, ever surrender. Right, Steve? Together we will fight, 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 and we will win, win, win. Gonna win, win, win. November 5th will be the most important day in the history of our country, and you will be so proud that you cast your vote the way you did. And together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. It's going to be so strong. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much, North Carolina, and God bless you all. God bless you. Go and vote. Thank you, Mike. Great. Very happy. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody.
They have ever was a young boy, I played the silver ball. From Soho down to Brighton, I must have played them all. But I ain't seen nothing like him in any amusement hall. That deaf, dumb, and blind kid sure plays a mean pinball. He stands like a statue, becomes part of the machine. Feeling all the bumpers, always plays clean. Plays by intuition, the digit counters fall. That deaf, dumb, and blind kid sure plays a mean pinball. He's a pinball wizard, there has to be a twist. A pinball wizard's got such a supple wrist. How do you think he does? I don't know. What makes him so good? Ain't got no distractions, can't hear no buzzers and bells. Don't see no lights flashing, plays by sense of smell. Always gets the replay, never seen him fall. That deaf, dumb, and blind kid sure plays a mean pinball. I thought I was the body table king, but I just handed my pinball crown to him. Even on my favorite table, he can't beat my best. His disciples lead him in, and he just does the rest. He's got crazy flipper fingers, never seen him fall. That deaf, dumb, and blind kid sure plays a mean pinball.
Right rally tonight. I want to also tell you that as a Republican and a conservative, I believe in lowering costs but increasing opportunities for the families of our country and our state. Are we at the right rally tonight? And lastly, I want to tell you, I believe that in 2 days, on Election Day, we're going to send the Republican majorities back to Atlanta like we have now in the House and the Senate, and we're going to send Republicans back and keep the House of Representatives, but we're going to take the United States Senate. And importantly, we're going to send Donald J. Trump back to the White House. Tell me, are we at the right rally tonight or what? Thank you for that. Let me lead us, if I would. If you would, please take a respectful pose and let us bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we come to you humbly today with a grateful heart. We thank you for the blessings on this great country and this beautiful state that we live in. What we enjoy all comes from you. Father, our leaders need to know that you need to know you and they seek your will. And our citizens need to remember what our forefathers did and our veterans did to give us what we have today. I pray for wisdom and strength for President Trump, that he may have the vision for our future. I also pray for President Trump and Melania and their family, because we know this is a family cause and a family effort. I also pray for J.D. Vance. We're blessed in Georgia, Father, to have great leaders like Governor Brian Kemp and Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones and their families that support them. I pray for healing for our land. We are here because of you, and we know that this country is the beacon of hope for all of the world. But we need leaders who understand and know you. For as America goes, so goes the world. Please help unite this country, Father. Give our citizens the clarity to vote for what will be in the best interest of our great nation. Now, we pray for safe travel for President Trump as he traverses our nation over the next 48 hours. And finally, we pray for our first responders who responded to the victims of Hurricane Helene, who work for the safety of our leaders wherever they may be. and they also respond to every call of every day for the citizens just like us here tonight. And all these things, Your Honor, in all these things we pray in Jesus' name, amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome nominee for Georgia's 2nd Congressional District, Wayne Johnson, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
First of all, before we start, it's a great honor to be here in Macon, Georgia. As y'all well know, we're right in the middle of the 2nd District, and this particular district will very much determine the next President of the United States. As we give the Pledge of Allegiance, I would ask for any member of the military, current or previous, to render the hand salute to the eyebrow, and everyone else to put your hand over your heart. And I'd ask for you to look to your right, to our great flag that is waving in the breeze, and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless America. Go vote.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the youngest mayor in America, Mayor of Arabi, Georgia, Brooke Huckabee, to sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, made proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Georgia's GOP chairman, Josh McCoon.
Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Yeah. Lose control.
Hello, Georgia. Can you believe in just 2 days we're going to be able to say, you're fired? Early voting ended on Friday. We had 4 million people vote in Georgia. Can you cheer for me if you were one of those people? You know, Friday afternoon we were looking at the numbers, they were so good. And evidently the Democrats were looking at them too, because they thought it was so good they decided they wanted some overtime. They opened some offices in Fulton County and DeKalb County and other places. So 9 o'clock Friday night, we sued. Then they told us 9 o'clock Saturday morning in Fulton County they wouldn't let our poll watchers watch what was going on. So we raised some hell, and by noon, our observers were in the building. And just a few hours ago, I authorized a lawsuit to be filed in federal court in Savannah, Georgia, because we will not let them make 2024 2020. We will not do it. So let me just tell you this. Sounds like most of you voted. On Wednesday, those reporters back there, they're going to be writing a story. Or you're going to be seeing it on the news. It's going to be one of two headlines. I don't want the headline to be Kamala Harris elected president. Do you? So here's what you've got to do. You have got to help me over the next 48 hours, because this is 48 hours for the next 4 years, for the next generation, for generations of our country yet to be born. If you voted, you need to get your family to vote. If they voted, you need to get your friends to vote. You need to get everybody you know that is going to vote for this decent man, this good man, this man who took a bullet for us, Donald J. Trump. And ladies and gentlemen, if you will join me in that cause for the next 48 hours, if you'll put everything else aside and make sure we get every freedom-loving Georgian to the polls, then the headline on Wednesday is going to read, Donald J. Trump, the once and future President of the United States. Let's go do it, Georgia. God bless you all. God bless Georgia. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Harper. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Agriculture Commissioner Tyler Harper.
Pour me another drink, 'cause I don't wanna feel a thing no more, hell no. I just wanna sip it till the pain wears off. Pour me.
I don't know about you, Middle Georgia, but I'm excited. And y'all need to get excited with me. I want to hear you. Who wants to send Donald Trump and J.D. Vance to the White House in 48 hours? It's time to get excited. It's time to get off our butts. It's time to get on our feet. We got to work hard over the next 48 hours to put our country back on track. And ladies and gentlemen, it's up to us right here in Georgia. The White House runs right